Alright guys, I know I said that we're going to be using the system of votes and council members here to figure out what we're going to be doing with our city, but not this time around, just for the simple fact that I don't actually have that many things unlocked yet. My population is not big enough. Most of the things do unlock once I do reach 1500 people, and as you can see, we're not close just yet. So I've decided, you know what, my town looks a little too square anyways, so gotta fix that. And so I added a couple more roads, and obviously water is a necessity here, and just continued on working on that a little bit. Also, people moving in do need jobs, otherwise we're never gonna reach that 1500. And I decided to add a couple more roads to the industrial area, just so my guys here can get there a little bit easier. As you can see, everything is pretty good with traffic here so far, so I just made sure that the roads are giving way the way I want them to give way. And here I had to destroy a couple of houses just for the simple fact that I don't know why they got upgraded, and then they started crying that they're missing something. So had to destroy them and had to rebuild them later on. But first I wanted to redo this area here. It was looking pretty bad, so had to move some things around, shift some things around just to make sure that it looks okay-ish. And I'm still a little bit short, so had to add yet another area out here. Wasn't really a fan of this area in particular. I wasn't planning on actually adding that, so that was a bit of a surprise that I actually had to, but it is what it is. Had to work with it. And I know that there is some empty areas here, especially in the corners, because these houses do not really look great on the rounded areas here, on the rounded corners. So I know it looks a little bit off, but once I do get that 1500 people, that's gonna allow me to actually start planting some trees around, so it's not gonna look as ridiculous. And as always guys, we needed to add a fence around a school area, and so I did. Had a little problem though with this particular corner out here because I just could not grab it, and then for some reason it destroyed my landscape for whatever reason. I'm not really sure what happened there. But I had to use my arrow keys to move this guy around because for some weird reason I just could not grab it. On the other side, I managed to grab it. I mean, after a couple of tries, but I did eventually grab it. So that was great. And there you go, our fence is pretty much finished after I once again tried to move this guy, because I was like, well, if I can grab it on the other side, I'm pretty sure I can grab it here, but you would be surprised. That did not happen, so once again had to use the arrow keys on the keyboard to move it into place, and it does look okay-ish, not perfect, but okay-ish. And then out here I decided to add a few trees around the perimeter. And I actually decided to go with 2 different trees around the perimeter. So I used one tree on 2 sides and another tree on the other 2 sides, just to give these 2 areas their own unique look, I suppose. I mean, one area is a school area, the other one is a hospital area. And oh, actually I added 3 trees here. All right. So these trees out here are just for the road that's coming in. And then half of the trees go for the school area, and the other tree goes for the hospital area. And then I decided to add yet another playground out here. Not really sure that they actually needed that playground there. It's just that I have a lot of space out here to work with, and I was deciding what to do with the corners here. At first I was looking like at rocks, but I was like, you know what, doesn't look too great. So I decided to forgo those areas for now and just add a couple of bushes here with flowers between the parking lot and the actual buildings here. And then on that corner, I was thinking of adding another, like, a park area or something, but then decided to add like a food truck area. And I was looking at it, I wasn't a fan per se. I wanted something a little bit smaller. And I found a ice cream shop, which actually did not look too horrible in that corner. So I was like, you know what, let's just leave it there for now. It kind of makes sense to have an ice cream shop there, you know, with parents dropping off kids or going to the hospital for whatever reason, you know. Just having something to grab with the kids, I would say that's actually not that bad. And then just decided to add a couple of trees here and there into every single corner just to make it look finished. For some reason, I always ended up getting the same bush out here for some of these sides. Eventually, I just have given up, and I was like, you know what? I don't even care. And then it was time to work this area out here with our main road into the city. I'm not sure why I'm saying main road into the city. This is the only road into the city at this moment. So I just decided to add a fence out here as well, just so people don't go running into this beautiful road, and also part of the highway here as well. I would prefer my citizens to be alive. And there was a little trouble with this road here because I believe I had like a 2-lane road in there. So I changed that into 3 lanes, and then I had to do a little bit of work out here because people kept changing lanes here for no reason. I mean, you gotta go straight, and they would go from the very left lane to the very right lane. It just looked weird, so I decided to fix it. Then looked at the traffic, it looked alright, just needed to do a little bit of work here around the roundabout. With so many people walking to work, just needed something out here, and I decided to build them a walkway. Unfortunately, at first I tried making it too big, so it didn't look too great. Once I actually made it into a circular formation, it just looked too big. So I decided to destroy it and had to start all over, adding it a little bit closer here to the roundabout. And it looked a little bit better. A little bit too high maybe, so had to work on that, otherwise it looked a little bit ridiculous going down, especially in that particular area where I don't have that much space. And there was a lot of problems with garbage. I always have a lot of problems with garbage once I start reaching that 1500 to 2000 population. So I had to add a couple of those recycling centers. And by couple, I mean 3. And I know that there is still a little bit of work to do with that walkway here around the roundabout, but that wasn't really something I really cared about in this particular episode. Later on we'll fix it to make it look a little bit better, but not in this episode, because we have something better to focus on. We need to make sure that this particular neighborhood here looks a little bit better, just so I don't ever come back to it again. This is not gonna be my main city, as I said already. This is not gonna be my main settlement of people. This is just a starting area, so I just want to make sure that it looks finished before I move on to anything else. And so the first thing I did is add some walkways here, just to make sure my people have an easier time walking around, that they perhaps won't use as many cars, which would be great, but we'll see. Anyways, it just looks great having the walkways here. And I decided, you know what, these people out here, they don't deserve to be parking on the street. They need a parking lot. And being the kind soul that I am, I decided to build a free parking lot out here. Give people some hope that I'm not here to make a bunch of money off of them. And added some concrete here as well, just to give this area more of an industrial look. Then I just kind of laughed in the people's face and was like, nope. Just gonna add a payable parking lot here. I'm not sure if they're happy about it, but I haven't heard any complaints just yet. And after that, it was time to go back out here to this area and build a couple of trees here, just so people don't look at cars constantly, you know, it just kind of feels weird. So adding a couple of trees, and well, first of all scenery, second of all noise suppression type of thing. And after all of that, I was like, you know what, that didn't look too great out there, so I had to redo this a little bit. It still looks about the same, but for some reason I think it looks better now. And after all of that was done, I just kind of put a bunch of trees all over the city, just to make it look like it's in the middle of something, not in the middle of nowhere. And I finally decided to make these guys into their own proper districts. And that was it for today, guys. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Scorpion out.